Go. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to X. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
How
Nice
you
to
doing today?
I'm good. We had a really late night doing an after party show in Edmonton, and we're a little groggy, but
Right. You
we
said
made
you
it.
may have strained your voice.
Yeah, I was kind of screaming in the middle of a crowd at like 2 a.m. last night, and then we drove here. So if I'm missing some notes in our set here, that's why.
Sounds like my Monday nights. It's
good.
So we just started playing your tune, and I absolutely love it. Troubled Mind. God, no memory. I love this song.
Oh, thank you.
It is so good. Not only like the melody and everything, but the lyrics are amazing. Obviously, because you're a lyricist.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like I'm a shabby singer and I'm a shabby guitar player, but the lyrics are sort of where I feel like I have an angle on things that is my own, and whether people like it or not, I feel like it's mine, and like I have a particular way of phrasing things. So I feel like the songs, in a way, are just sort of like a vessel or a medium to get the lyrics out of my brain, and then it helps me sleep better.
Well, that was beautiful in itself.
It's also, I mean, with this song particularly, I feel like it's the first time I ever made a song where you could like kind of wiggle your hips. You know what I mean? I cut together this ridiculous little lyric video for it with all the people dancing, and I was sitting there, and as the song was playing over and over again, I mean, I've heard the song a lot. I wrote it, but as it was playing over and over again, I'm like moving clips around and trying stuff out and all the changes and everything. And I found myself kind of moving my hips in my chair, and I was like, well, that's a good sign. Maybe I've made my first danceable song ever. Well,
and the song, isn't it about almost losing faith in humanity?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what all my songs are about. But, I feel like we have this swipe culture. Everything is so fast-paced. Yeah. Part of it, too, I think, is that we have so much access to the woes of the world, which is a really beautiful thing in some ways, because it means that we're kind of more aware than ever.
Yeah.
And, if some really bad thing happens a world away, it can be outed from the dark corners, and people can be like, hey, that's not cool, and we can all collectively try and make society better. But it also means that, like, if you're looking for it, you can find a bummer a second, because there's a lot of bummers in the world. And so I feel like I'm in this constant battle of equilibrium to try and balance wanting to be well-informed and wanting to stay even remotely sane.
Right.
Because the more informed you are, the harder it is to sort of cope with reality.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that is not uncommon. Like that's something we're all dealing with all the time. And, people talk about the fast pace of life and et cetera, and we're all over-medicated. And, it's like we're at this pace, this clipping pace, and really weird things are going on in really large governments and really important countries in this world. And the song is sort of about just handling that. And then also, I like the juxtaposition of the sort of bouncy, dancey song with the really dark, kind of foreboding lyrics, because hopefully it means that somewhere in there is like the relief of like, A, we're going to be okay. I do believe we're all going to be okay. And also, you have to allow yourself moments to just let go and dance and be ridiculous.
That was the deepest thing I've ever heard in my life. But yes, the foil between the lyrics and the music, you can totally understand what the song's trying to say.
It's kind of the opposite of that Lou Reed song, Perfect Day, where the lyrics are all about, it's a perfect day, I'm glad I spent it with you, pick flowers in the park and everything. And the music is so sad.
It makes you want to die.
Yeah, but it's so beautiful because that's life. Nothing is ever perfectly one way or the other. It's like everything is gray. There's no black and white. Everything is gray, and everything is, in flux and fluid. And so to sort of poke at that with juxtaposition, I think is a really powerful tool.
Right. And I love the song because it reminds me of Post-War Blues, which is one of my favorite songs. It's still on my top 25 played on my iTunes. Yeah, it's the song that made me really love X92.9 when it came out. I was like 18 and I started listening to it and I dug that song. So I would listen to the station to hear that song.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I really it feels like almost a callback to that type of music. Do you find yourself writing that type of music now that the blacksmith era is over?
Well, it's interesting. So I've just basically finished working on a new record that we're going to announce some details about fairly soon.
Do you want to tell us right now?
I can't. I'm sorry. I'd love to, but I can't. And
is it law breaking?
It is law breaking. I signed a. No, I didn't sign anything. But anyways, it's different It's a different record made with different people. I mean, I think that the through line through all of my work is that my words and my voice are fairly distinctive, and everything around it has changed quite a lot over like record to record. Each one's sort of its own little trip.
Right.
And so, this new record is not with Blacksmith. It's sort of my own little world that I've wandered into. And I'm really, really excited about it. And some of it is a little jammy, like Troubled Mind, and some of it's a little weird and acid
Weird's
trippy.
good.
But it's an exciting time in my life. I feel like I spent a lot of my 20s just like trying to take on the world and tour nonstop and trying to build something. And then I stopped, and I had kids, and I stopped touring, and I, spent a year renovating a house, and I kind of just like got really deep into my own little domestic world. And I feel like now, for the first time, my kids are old enough, I'm just like ready to take on making songs and putting out records and really going for it again. So.
Well, yeah, I'm shocked that you're like here. I don't know how you're not exhausted, because you're also working on the CBC show.
That's right. I'm working on a TV show that time. The post supervisor is not thrilled that I'm on tour right now, but
Can't imagine.
It's fine. We're going to get through it. I'm scoring a new show called Unspeakable.
Right.
It's all about the blood crisis in the 80s, the sort of Red Cross semi-knowingly giving away tainted HIV blood. And it was... it was a big deal. And the crazy thing is that I was born in 1983. I knew nothing about this until I met the showrunner, and he gave me like the whole story.
That's insane.
And I knew nothing about it. And I was like, well, that means somebody's done a really good job of sweeping this under the rug.
Totally.
I mean, we should be learning about this in high school. You know, it's like a fairly big 80% of hemophiliacs in Canada got AIDS in the 80s.
Oh my God.
80%. Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, it's crazy.
Crazy.
It's unthinkable, right?
Never heard of that.
So it's not a very happy show, but it is an important show.
So how is working on it? Because you're scoring it, but I think I read that it's all like instrumental.
Yeah, it's all instrumental. I'm doing a couple covers on it, which is fun, of like 80 songs. But it's a lot of synth, a lot of sort of warbly, oscillating, nervous, anxious, late 70s.
Sounds like it goes with it.
Yeah, I mean, it suits the tone of the show very well. And the era.
Yeah, of course. That's fascinating. As well as an app. Okay, I was reading about this app. It's such a good idea for local bands or bands that I want to tour around Canada. It's
a platform kind of like Tinder that matches hosts and bands or artists together so that you can sort of just facilitate gigs in any space. Like this office could be a venue, or like the coffee shop or a bookstore or an art gallery or a barn or a basement or a living room. And basically to try and, I feel like there's so many acts, musical or otherwise, could be dance or theater or comedy, that want to perform but don't have access through the gatekeepers of the entertainment industry. And there's lots of people who have really good taste, who don't live right in the middle of a city, who would love to bring culture to their little community. And so if you just break down all the barriers and you create this app that matches them, and then people on the sort of consumer side of it, you can just go and look on your app and you'd see like a map of your town, and there'd be little pins all over it of just events going on around you. And you'd be like, oh, I'm going to grab a 6-pack and wander 2 blocks down and go see a show and bring my kids and meet the neighbors and come home and be back by 9 p.m. It's like,
that's awesome.
Or you could go to like an auto body shop and see like a punk show.
Totally.
And I like the idea of sort of just breaking down the barriers of all the gatekeeping in the entertainment world and building a middle class carpentry economy for people who want to perform and people who want to be a part of culture and art. So.
Right. Okay. So the app, the show, working on an album, an entire family. Are you tired?
I'm so tired. I am so tired all the time. Yeah, I'm a mess. I am just a mess.
Can you tell me about your sandwich today?
I had a hot chicken sandwich from a brand new place that's good to plug, a new joint. We met the owner, Jeremy, really nice guy. Alumni Sandwiches on 17th Ave here. Delicious, great joint. The hot chicken sandwich is hot, and I'm sweating still from that experience, but it was delicious.
I'm really happy to hear that. Well, when can we expect the new album? In the next...
we will expect an announcement about the album in the next coming weeks or months.
Well, thank God you weren't vague. Honestly. And you're playing tonight at the Jube?
We're playing tonight. We're opening for Kaleo at the Jubilee, 8 p.m. That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in. This was lovely.
Thanks for having us.